Ford says that the Bronco was the world's first SUV, and in its 31-year lifespan, they built over 1.1 million. I don't have as much of an attachment or even knowledge on the older Ford Broncos because, well, they discontinued production when I was 2 years old. But now that they've brought out a modern iteration of the Bronco, I've been very, very excited to check one out. Ford definitely confused a lot of customers by launching the Bronco Sport first. I can't even count the amount of times people said, oh, it's too small, it's not capable enough, it doesn't live up to the Bronco name. And I had to explain to them, no, that is the Ford Bronco Sport. There will be the big brother badass off-road capable Bronco coming, and here it is. This is a 2021 Ford Bronco Wildtrak with the Sasquatch package. There are 6 different trims available for the Bronco. We have the base, the Big Bends, the Black Diamond, the Outer Banks, the Badlands, and the Wildtrak. I think I got all of those right. There was also a first edition, but that was a limited run, which is not available anymore. So effectively this here, the Wildtrak, is the top tier trim. The Bronco comes in either 2-door or 4-door configuration. This one is obviously a 2-door because, well, it has 2 doors. I actually prefer the way the 2-door looks personally. There are 2 different engines available. This one, because it's the Wildtrak, can only be optioned with a 2.7-liter EcoBoost, which also then means you get the 10-speed automatic transmission. There is a base engine, a 2.3-liter EcoBoost. That one you can get a manual transmission. The 2.7 here makes 330 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque. The base 2.3 makes 300 horsepower and 325 pound-feet of torque. All Broncos are standard with 4x4. So again, this is designed to be an off-road capable SUV. In terms of exterior styling, the most obvious thing we need to talk about on this Wildtrak Bronco is the Sasquatch package. It brings 35-inch tires with 17-inch beadlock capable wheels, high clearance fenders, suspension, all of this to make it the most aggressive looking Bronco that you can currently get. I already mentioned I prefer the 2-door. I think the proportions look better. The doors are longer. When you go to the 4-door, the front doors shrink a little bit to fit them in. And something to me about an SUV with 2 doors just speaks more to the fact that this is a toy. This is not meant to be practical. It doesn't need to be luxurious or refined. Anything where the roof and the doors come off doesn't have to have those considerations. This is an off-road utility vehicle to accomplish a very certain goal, which is to have fun and conquer different terrains. So I think the 2-door looks a little bit better. I usually also don't like silver on cars. I think it's one of those boring colors you can put on a vehicle, but somehow on this thing, it still looks really cool. I really love the front circular DRLs with a line that cuts right through it. That is very distinctive for the new generation Bronco, and it kind of continues on through the grille with the Bronco lettering there. You don't really find any Ford logos on the exterior. I haven't found any. It's mainly the Bronco horse logo there. The Wildtrak's got some other little touches. It got a lettering here on the hood. It's big. It has a lot of presence. The bigger tires with the Sasquatch pack makes it a lot taller. It stands out in parking lots. It looks badass. It has presence. I am a pretty big fan of how this Bronco looks. I think they did a very good job blending, making it look modern and clean with a newer design, but still throwing back to some of like the older Bronco cues. I don't know what these are technically called, but they look really cool too, and it really helps you see the front corners of the truck. With that, let's hop inside. We're gonna take it for a drive on the road. We'll talk about some of the interior details and technology and the value. All right, now we're in the Bronco. Let's head out. We're just gonna be on the road for today's review. The interior. So I got a lot of comments when I first posted that I was spending a week at the Bronco, people asking me how I felt about the interior. And this was coming right off where I just spent a week with a Wrangler Rubicon Unlimited 4xe. And some people were saying they didn't like the interior. They heard the interior wasn't as nice. I personally think this interior is better. Now, here are the ways that I can quantifiably say I like it better. The technology is a step beyond what the Jeep Wrangler offers. We have an upgraded 12-inch Sync 4 screen, and it feels very well integrated. It's not like somebody left the screen to the last second and just stuck it on a dash or forgot their tablet and put it there. It is the same height width across the dash there, and it's set in nicely. We've got wireless CarPlay, and then the side screen here will show things like off-road status. We're just currently in 2-wheel drive. So I think that's better. We have a digital center cluster too, which brings up a bunch of information. We've got, again, the MyView gauges too, where I can change between all sorts of information with MyView. We have a wireless charging pad. So technology is a step up with the Bronco. It also feels a little more spacious, especially between like where my leg is and the door. The center console is a lot bigger, which then cascades to the third one, the spacious. Also much more practical. I have so much more storage. I have cup holders. I've got this wireless charging pad up front where I can put my phone or other things in there. I've got a larger center console. I got really annoyed in Wranglers when there's nowhere to put anything. I was just kind of putting stuff in the nets on the door, and then I was honestly throwing stuff in the back seat because there just wasn't any space to put 1 or 2 cell phones, my sunglasses, and a camera. It was frustrating. So from that perspective, I like the Bronco a bit better. A little more spacious, a little more technology. The material quality is all right. It is a bit more plastic, but really a leather wrapped dash, I don't care about that in an off-road oriented vehicle. And we'll talk about this at the very end, value-wise. This was a lot cheaper than the Wrangler Rubicon that I was spending time with too, MSRP-wise. So from that perspective, I like the interior. This one has a 10-speaker B&O sound system with the Lux pack. We've got 360 cameras, good amount of technology too. This center screen will show my speedometer, your lane keeping assist, my fuel level, and then the My View can be reconfigured. And then we still have an analog speedometer on the left side too. The tachometer is fully digital. Coming down the center console, I didn't mention a lot of these things. Have a cool little plaque there. It says it was like designed, engineered in Dearborn, built in Michigan. Charging ports too. There's even charging ports up top with a little mount for accessories, like you can put a GoPro in there. The Bronco has 200 factory-backed accessories, all sorts of really innovative things. We've got aux switches up here. We've got the differential locks buttons. They're like this kind of squishy button here. And then obviously the top does come off. This one has a 3-piece hardtop. I believe the 4-door ends up coming with a 5-piece hardtop, but these 3 pieces would come off. I'm not going to do that because it's freezing outside. Hopefully in the summer, I'm going to try to get another Bronco and take the doors and the roof off and experience that. But right now, we are not going to do that because it is way, way too cold. This Bronco also has heated seats and a heated steering wheel. And I'm telling you guys, this week when I woke up and it was 3 degrees outside, I was very happy I could remote start the truck, let it warm up, and come into a very warm heated seat and heated steering wheel. In terms of driving, so let's talk about some of the off-road features there. We have this GOAT rotary dial here. In the middle, we have the buttons to press that would go from your 2-wheel drive to 4 auto or 4 high, 4 low. And then on the outer, we have a rotary dial that can change your drive modes. We've got a bunch of different drive modes. We have normal, we have eco, we have sport, we have slippery, mud and ruts, sand, and then because this is a Wildtrak, the Wildtrak and first edition ones came with a Baja mode, and I just put it in Baja, put it in 4 high, also pulled up the front view camera, but I am not in the desert right now. I am on the street, so I don't need Baja mode. So let's go back into sport mode. There's sport mode. It's pretty quick. This is the 2-door 2.7 with 415 pound-feet of torque when you run it on premium 93, which is what I put in here with the 10-speed auto. And yeah, it definitely is quick. Has a lot of mid-range torque. Off the line, it doesn't feel like it is lacking in power in any way. Now, we do have the Sasquatch pack, which brings gigantic 35-inch tires for off-road, and it's never going to handle like a sports SUV or anything like that. That's not the point of this, obviously. But the on-road behavior of the Bronco is really good. Independent front suspension and electric power steering helps a lot. It doesn't wander as much as the Wrangler does. You don't feel like you're being blown around on the lane. I can just drive with one hand on the wheel, lane centered, and it feels much more composed. It rides a lot better on the road. Now, I believe some of that you will sacrifice a little bit of your ultimate off-road capability, but I would take that trade-off because on the road, on the freeway, it is much more composed and well-behaved. It still has a lot of wind noise and tire noise because, again, it has the aerodynamic properties of a brick. We have the mirror, side view mirrors that are mounted on the actual body itself. So they extend out a little further, but that means when you take the door off, you still have a side view mirror on both sides. But then that causes a little bit of wind noise, got a little bit of a howl. But with the hardtop here, and we've got this liner on the inside, the draftiness, wind noise isn't as bad as like a soft retractable top that I had on the Wrangler. So from that perspective, driving on road is pretty good. Off-road credentials. We aren't off-roading this week. Hopefully in the future I'll get a chance to take a Bronco, more properly off-roading, because again, that is what it's designed for. But 3 sets of locking differentials, a lot of technology to allow this to be competitive in the segment. And the segment to me really is the Jeep Wrangler. You could also argue things like maybe a TRD Pro from Toyota. The FJ Cruiser's gone now, but these two are the main ones that come to mind when I think about it, because they're a lower price point than a G-Wagon or a Range Rover. And how often do you see somebody off-roading a G-Wagon or a Range Rover? We have a cool thing like it pivots. It will lock the inside rear wheel when you're turning to kind of help pivot the vehicle when you're making tight turns off-roading. Obviously, that only works when your rear diff is unlocked, because with a locked diff, that just wouldn't work. Ford claims that this 2.7 has best-in-class power, which is 330 and 415. So are they assuming the Wrangler 392 is not in this class? Because that makes quite a bit more power. That's very different. I am looking forward to driving the Bronco Raptor when it comes out. That is confirmed, and that should be pretty awesome. Even more hardcore version of this. And I also would love to try out the 2.3 with the manual in the Bronco, because I think that is also a really appealing combination to a lot of enthusiasts. So Ford clearly understood the assignment, and there are so many configurations available. They knew this was an enthusiast vehicle. They developed it for that. It's got the Baja DNA in it. It can handle the terrain, all the different option trim levels. You can pick and choose. Which one would I go with? Honestly, as configured, I think it's cool. It's got some luxury tech features. It's got the Sasquatch pack, which is standard for the Wildtrak. And in terms of value, this one stickering for $53,650 to me stands to be a tremendous value. The Wrangler Rubicon Unlimited 4xe that I just had was almost $70,000. Now, that is a plug-in hybrid. I've also spent time with an EcoDiesel that was also close to $70,000. That's a lot of money for 53 grand. I mean, this is awesome. It has the things that I wanted to have. It has heated seats and heated steering wheel. For some reason, that 70 grand Wrangler did not have heated seats and a heated steering wheel, and it was not enjoyable when it was that cold outside. The problem is the market value of Broncos right now is unbelievable. Obviously, the whole market's kind of crazy right now, but the markup that some dealers are asking on Broncos, I've seen anywhere from $10,000 to $40,000 over sticker price, with the first editions going for almost 6 figures. So you can't get this for sticker easily. Maybe if you have a relationship with your Ford dealer or something, or you've had an allocation for a while or something, you could do that. So that's very hard to discuss value right now because of the situation. But from base MSRP at just over $53,000, I think this 2-door Wildtrak Bronco is really, really cool. So final thoughts wrapping this up. How do I feel about the Bronco? I like it. Again, just 1 week, mainly on the road, and I did get the top tier Wildtrak trim with the Sasquatch package. But overall, I'm walking away after spending a week with a Wrangler, literally right before this got dropped off. I think I like the Bronco more. Actually, no, not even I think. I like the Bronco more. The powertrain is very torquey and powerful, paired well with the 10-speed automatic transmission. I think it looks really cool. The presence is undeniable. It's got a lot of interior tech and some nice luxury features. You know it'll handle anything with the go over any type of terrain, which they call GOAT, but if it's go over any type of terrain, shouldn't it be like GOTAT? Anyways, but the different drive modes, I would definitely do it with a Sasquatch package, even if it compromises some of your on-road behaviors, things like that. It still, to me, was better than the Wrangler on the highway. A lot of wind noise, a lot of tire noise, but much more composed and comfortable and just daily drivable. A lot of presence. Overall, a great experience, and it absolutely does make the Bronco Sport look pretty puny, but the Bronco Sport has its own place in the lineup. Value-wise, we touched upon that. You can get a really base Bronco, a big brother, the big boy, for just under $30,000 sticker price. Option it up to mid-50s here without a markup. I think it's awesome. Definitely looking forward to checking out the Bronco Raptor, whatever the highest performance version will be in the future. And there we go. Here's my review of the Ford Bronco Wildtrak with the Sasquatch package. Make sure you also check out the Living With vlog, covering some more behind-the-scenes details and other things as I discovered spending a week driving the Bronco around in all sorts of scenarios. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.